Did you know that tracking your FAFSA status could quite literally be the difference between securing thousands of dollars in financial aid and missing out on it entirely because of a missed deadline? Welcome to today's Explainer. I am so thrilled to guide you through this step-by-step breakdown to completely demystify the FAFSA status tracking process. Whether you're a first-generation student, a parent jumping in to help out, or you're returning to school, knowing exactly where your financial aid application stands is absolutely vital. So grab a notepad and let's unlock your education potential together.
It's a serious question, and honestly, the answer is a resounding yes. Managing government forms can feel incredibly overwhelming, and it is completely normal to feel a wave of anxiety right after you hit that submit button. You know the feeling. You're wondering, did it actually go through? Did I miss a signature somewhere? Are they going to run out of money? We totally validate that anxiety. But here's the good news. By learning how to proactively track your FAFSA status, you shift from just crossing your fingers and hoping for the best to being fully in control of your financial future.
Here is our roadmap for this explainer. We'll be covering why FAFSA status matters, accessing your FSA ID, checking your FAFSA status, decoding your application status, troubleshooting common FAFSA errors, and finally, crucial next financial steps. Let's dive right in.
Section 1. Why FAFSA status matters. Understanding the 3 deadlines.
Okay, the very first thing you need to realize right off the bat is that financial aid is not some infinite pool of money. A lot of this aid, especially state and school-based grants, is actually awarded on a first-come, first-served basis, and funds can and do run out. That's exactly why it is so critical to track your status to make sure your application clears before any deadlines pass. And notice I said deadlines, plural. There isn't just one deadline. There are actually 3. You have your school deadline, your state deadline, and the federal deadline. Now, the federal deadline to submit a FAFSA for a given academic year is June 30th. But listen, if you wait until June 30th, you are leaving massive amounts of money on the table. Your school and state deadlines are typically way earlier, often around February or March. Some states have hard deadlines, while others use priority dates. So the big takeaway here is that you've got to aim for the absolute earliest of these 3 dates to maximize your aid package.
Moving on to Section 2, accessing your FSA ID, the keys to the castle.
Before we can even look at your application status, we need to talk about those keys to the castle. Your FSA ID isn't just some basic username and password. It literally acts as your legally binding digital signature for the Department of Education. When you consider they process over 17 million FSA forms a year, they obviously need an airtight way to know it's really you. You absolutely cannot check your status, make corrections, or sign your forms without this ID. Setting it up is pretty straightforward but requires a specific sequence. First, gather your social security number, your full legal name, and your date of birth, exactly as they appear on your official documents. Then head over to studentaid.gov. There, you'll create a memorable username and password, and I highly recommend you provide and verify a mobile phone number and an email address. Step 4 is where people tend to get tripped up. You actually have to wait 1 to 3 days for your info to be confirmed by the Social Security Administration before the ID is fully active. Oh, and a quick pro tip. If you're a dependent student, required contributors, like your parents, must create their own separate FSA IDs. You absolutely cannot share them.
Of course, life happens, and passwords get forgotten. If you ever find yourself locked out, please don't panic. The system provides a few really easy recovery options. Because you smartly verified your email or mobile phone number during setup, you can simply request a secure code to be texted or emailed over to reset your password or recover your username. You can also fall back on your preset challenge questions. Just keep in mind, an FSA ID locks after 3 unsuccessful attempts, so make sure to use these recovery tools before you hit that limit and lock yourself out completely.
All right, Section 3, checking your FAFSA status, navigating the dashboard.
Let's move into the actual execution phase here. You've got your FSA ID, it's been a few days since you hit submit, and now it is time to log in securely to studentaid.gov and see exactly where your form stands in the government's processing queue. Once you're logged into your dashboard, you want to direct your attention straight to the section clearly labeled My Activity. Think of this as the command center for your entire financial aid journey. Right there, you'll see your specific FAFSA form listed for the academic year you applied for. Next to it is a little pill-shaped badge indicating your official status, along with the date it was submitted. It's super clean, it's direct, but obviously we need to know what that little status badge actually means for you.
Which brings us to Section 4, decoding your application status. What does it mean?
Seeing a word on a dashboard is one thing, but understanding the downstream impact on your actual money is another. So let's translate this government jargon so you instantly know where things stand. There are 6 main statuses you're likely to encounter. Draft means you started, but a section is completely unfinished.
In progress means you've signed your part, but the form hasn't been totally submitted yet, which usually means you're just waiting on a contributor. In review is that standard waiting period. You submitted it, and the federal court system is taking its typical 1 to 3 days to process it. Now, action required is a red flag. It means something stalled the application, like missing tax consent or signature. Processed is the golden ticket. It means you successfully cleared all the automated validations with 0 errors. And finally, closed means the federal deadline passed before you submitted, and unfortunately, you're ineligible for that cycle.
If you want a more detailed look, clicking directly into your FAFSA form from that My Activities section opens up a fantastic visual status tracker. It basically shows a timeline from when the form was started to submitted to processed. Most importantly, when your form hits that process stage, the screen will indicate that your FAFSA submission summary is ready to view. You'll see a blue button to download it. You want to grab that summary because it contains the magic numbers schools use to figure out your aid. And here is that magic number I mentioned, your Student Aid Index, or SAI. Let's quickly de-jargonize this because it confuses a lot of people. The SAI is not a dollar amount of aid you're going to receive, and it's definitely not what your family is expected to pay out of pocket. It is simply an index number, and it can range anywhere from -1,500 all the way up to $999,999. Schools literally just look at where your number falls on this scale to calculate your financial need. So a lower or even a negative SAI indicates higher financial need, which means a higher likelihood of qualifying for things like the federal Pell Grant.
Section 5. Troubleshooting common FAFSA errors. Overcoming roadblocks.
If you logged in and saw that dreaded action required status, take a deep breath. Seriously, we want to normalize the experience of hitting roadblocks here. Millions of forms get flagged for corrections every single year. Let's pivot to some actionable solutions for the most common errors that can stall your aid. If you see action required, the absolute primary culprit is missing contributor information. The FAFSA requires all contributors, whether that's you, a parent, or a spouse, to explicitly provide consent and approval to have their federal tax information transferred directly from the IRS. If a parent forgets to log in with their FSA ID to provide that consent, or forgets to electronically sign at the very end, the whole application just freezes. The fix? It's simple. Remind them to log into their own studentaid.gov account, check their My Activity section, and provide that missing signature or consent. Now, you might also get alerts directly from your school's financial aid office, and it's absolutely critical to distinguish between 2 common hurdles they might mention. The first is a FAFSA-C flag. All this means is that the Department of Education found a systemic processing problem, like a mismatched social security number. You can usually resolve this by checking your online status tracker and just making a quick correction. On the other hand, you might see a request for IRS verification. Don't panic. This doesn't mean you did anything wrong. It just means your specific school requires some extra proof to confirm your FAFSA data is perfectly accurate. They might ask for an official IRS verification of non-filing letter or a printout from the IRS Interactive Tax Assistant. If you do get selected for verification, act fast. Send the exact documents your school requests as soon as possible to avoid any delays in getting your money.
Section 6. Crucial next financial steps. Following through.
Okay, so your status says processed, your summary looks good, and there are 0 errors. You're completely done, right? Actually, scratch that, not quite. Following through after your FAFSA is processed is how you ensure you leave absolutely no money on the table. Let's build a proactive plan right now. Here is your immediate post-submission workflow. First, review that FAFSA submission summary meticulously. Make sure every single detail is correct. Second, if you spot a typo, or if you decide you need to add another school to your list, log back in and make those corrections online immediately. Third, and this one is huge, check if your state requires a separate application for state-level grants. Many states just use the FAFSA, but others have entirely separate portals and their own deadlines. Finally, while you're waiting for those official aid offers to come in, use the government's College Scorecard website. It's a great tool to compare average costs, graduation rates, and average student loan debt for up to 10 schools all at once.
I want to strongly emphasize this next point. Please do not just sit back and wait for the financial aid offers to roll in from your colleges. Federal and state aid often won't cover the full cost of attendance, unfortunately. Right now, while your application is processed and you have some downtime, actively apply for private grants and scholarships to fill that gap. Set a goal for yourself. Maybe apply for just 1 scholarship a week. The effort you put in right now can significantly reduce your future student loan debt. It is absolutely worth your time.
Quick reality check before we wrap up. I do need to highlight this crucial disclaimer.
This explainer is intended for informational purposes only. The financial aid landscape is highly individualized for everyone. If you have specific questions, complex family circumstances, or concerns about a strange status on your dashboard, your very best resource is always the financial aid office at the school you plan to attend or the official federal student aid website. They are fully equipped to give you personalized official guidance.
And just like that, it brings us to the end of our journey today. We've decoded the deadlines together, we navigated the dashboard, and we built a solid plan for troubleshooting and next steps. But knowledge is only powerful when you actually apply it. So I'm going to leave you with this final thought. What step are you going to take today to track your status and secure your financial future? Whether it's finally creating that FSA ID, logging in right now to check your My Activity tab, or just nudging a parent for that final signature, take that step today. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I wish you the absolute best of luck in your educational journey.